I'm talking about Dan Trachtenberg again, the director of Prey, Killer of Killers, and now the upcoming Badlands. He's taken the Predator franchise and decided to give it a bit of a facelift with CGI faces, and it hasn't worked. More importantly, it's had an impact on the iconic biomask. It's all feeling a bit off. I bang on about Predator like it's a religion, but we know these creatures. We've studied the films, obsessed over them. So when the lore starts getting chipped away, we notice. And I like to call it out because it detracts from the world building he's now trying to do. People think I'm over the top about this stuff, but you know, when someone leaves a 2-star review for a fancy restaurant, it's not because they hate food, it's because they love it. They saved up, got dressed, booked a night out, and the food sucked. Of course, they're mad. Take that same person, throw them in a greasy spoon cafe, basic breakfast, eggs a little runny, and they love it. Why? Expectations, investment. That's how I am with films, especially franchises I grew up on. I'm brutal because I care. I invested. Trachtenberg clearly fancies himself a modernizer. And yes, we live in the age of big budget effects, so the CGI face thing should work in theory, but somehow the faces look worse. How does something from the 80s look better than modern tech? That's just lazy, if you ask me. What's more annoying is the fact that the Predators barely use their masks anymore, and it's an essential part of their makeup. The feral predator in Prey had what looked like a clip-on mask. Some people loved the bone look, but I found it basic. It didn't feel heavy or imposing like in the original or the sequel. It felt light and cheap, like it had been ordered off Amazon. The biomask means something. It's a symbol of identity, tradition, even status. And now we're watching helmetless aliens who seem to have forgotten that without the mask they can't bloody see properly. Remember when a predator removing its mask was the moment? It was cool, it was terrifying, it was earned. Arnie facing off against Jungle Hunter, when that mask came off, you knew it was business time. Same in Predator 2. Danny Glover literally rips off the City Hunter's mask with difficulty in the beef factory scene. It was physical, it mattered, it had weight. But now, Dan doesn't seem to want them to wear one, or they wear something that barely counts, like that pilot Predator in Killer of Killers. How trash was that? We've lost all the mystique, all the tension, and the real issue? The vision. Without the biomask, predators primarily see in the infrared spectrum. They detect heat. That's a limitation, and that's the point. In the first film, the predator sees only blurry red soup. Arnie uses that to his advantage, luring it into traps. Even the upgrade predator relied on thermal vision. It was just built in, which was, again, lame. The mask mattered. These creatures have limits. They're intelligent hunters, not gods. Prey didn't work for me. I get what Dan was trying to do, back to basics, primal versus primal, but it didn't hit right. The feral predator felt like a brute, not a hunter. The Killer of Killers idea wasn't great either, mostly just wrecked the lore and had them being killed off with their own weapons. Not for me. Now we've got Badlands coming, and I think it's going to be a tough watch. I'll give it a go. I always do, but I'm already concerned. As you'll know if you've watched my videos, even the most basic stuff raises alarms. Deck, the new lead, looks to be facing all sorts of environmental dangers, vines, kaijus, you name it. How's he going to see? Deck's not wearing a mask in these clips, so he wouldn't see the vines, and God knows what else he will come up against. This is why these ideas fall apart. They kill the lore when they are not done well. If Dan sticks with this weird masks are optional policy, the balance tips again because he's taken the vulnerabilities that made the Predator interesting in the first place. And maybe that's what bothers me most. The biomask wasn't just a gadget, it was a storytelling device. When a Predator took it off, it was a declaration. I'm dropping the tech. Let's do this. Now, it's just gone, and no one seems to care. Take away a clear vulnerability, and you're not making the Predator cooler, you're making him duller. Dan Trachtenberg is hacking away at the roots of what made these movies work. And for fans like me who grew up with this stuff, that stinks. Anyway, I've said my bit. Please drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the rant. And if you're listening, Dan, for the love of Yautja honor, bring back the bloody mask.